Hey guys, this is David from Juki Junkies, home to Gigi's Fabric Shop, and in today's video we're going to show you how to thread and wind a bobbin on the Juki 9000C. Step 1 to winding your bobbin on the Juki 9000C is obviously put your thread on the thread guide or thread stand and then feed it through that thread guide hole right up there. So let's go ahead and do that. It's always nice to give your thread a nice fresh clean cut before you start doing any threading. Feed that through that hole right there, and then we're going to work our way back here to this little tension disc, which is going to provide us with the perfect tension when winding this bobbin. So now that we've gone through that upper thread guide out of that thread stand, we're going to go ahead and go from the back to the front with our thread, so just like that, and then from the back to the front again through this thread guide hole on the bottom. And then we can wrap this around this tension disc. And like we always say, we like to floss the thread like this right through that tension disc, making sure it's seated properly. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw the thread through this last thread guide that is located right here on the left side. Just feeding it right through there. And once again, threading it to make sure it's nice and seated into that thread disc or that tension disc. It is very important for your thread to be in that tension disc. If it's not, you'll get a squishy bobbin. So now that we have the thread going through the tension disc, we can go ahead and put the thread through our bobbin. And since this bobbin has holes, we can just feed it right through the upper hole of that bobbin and push it down onto this thread winder and push engage. And then we'll go ahead and turn on our bobbin winding. So to enter bobbin winding mode, you're just going to press the manual button. Bobbin winding mode is the second notch. And that's going to lift up your foot so it's not rubbing against those feed dogs the whole time. And we can go ahead and hold this top thread up and hit the gas and wind this bobbin. And once we get an adequate amount, we can go ahead and snip this thread or just pull it and it'll just snap right off. And we can continue to wind that bobbin. As you can hear, this machine is so smooth and so quiet. Okay, so once the bobbin is fully wound, it'll just knock out of bobbin winding mode. We can press X and exit out of that. Snip our thread right off, and there's actually a thread cutter right here too, by the way. So we can just pull it like that, pulls it right off, and then pull this bobbin off. And make sure that your bobbin is nice and tight, as you can see, and evenly wound. If it's squishy, then you probably need to tighten down this tension disc. Doing so, you just rotate this to the right, or if you need to loosen a little bit, rotate it to the left. To insert the bobbin into the bobbin case, you're just going to make sure that thread comes down making a 9. Insert it just like so, feeding it right through this little tension disc right there, and voila, we have our thread into our bobbin case. We're going to leave about a 3-inch tail, so we'll cut it right about there, and then we'll insert the bobbin case facing this little C or U facing up, and make sure you hear that click when you insert the bobbin case into the machine. I'm going to show you the click. Listen for the audible click when I insert this bobbin case. You can use this little door, open up this door to have a little better visual. And here we go. You really want to make sure you hear that click, that way you know the bobbin case is inserted properly. Quick little interruption. If you guys didn't know this already, we are Juki Junkies. We sell tons of Juki products. And if you guys need somewhere to buy some accessories or notions or products for your Juki sewing machines, check out JukiJunkies.com. We are a small family-owned business right outside of Tampa, Florida, and we ship pretty much the same day that the orders come in, so we have extremely fast shipping with amazing customer service. So check it out, JukiJunkies.com, for all your sewing needs. Now on to threading the machine. Same concept as threading that bobbin. You're going to have your spool on the thread stand going through that little thread guide hole on the top, and then we're going to work our way over here to this thread guide. So I'll try to do this without my hands in the way. Back to front, just like so. Then we're going to go through this thread guide hole around this subtension knob or subtension disc, back through this little thread guide hole right there, pulling that thread down, flossing it through there and ensuring that it's nice and tight. We're going to go through this little thread guide here, wrapping this thread around this tension disc, catching that little spring right there, going under this little thread bar, and then feeding it into the take-up lever, which is located right there, going from right to left through that hole, coming back down, catching this thread guide here, going into this little thread holder. And now we can go through this thread guide on this needle bar. And then there's one more thread guide right before going into the needle. And then we're going to come from left to right through that needle. With Tech 70, it is quite easy to thread. This is the 9000C H, which means it's the heavy version. Okay, so now that we have everything threaded, let's go ahead and do a quick little sew out. Voila, everything looks good. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and now you know how to thread and wind your bobbin on the Juki 9000C. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below if you have any questions, and make sure to subscribe because we post every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.